I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Welcome on in To The Point with Krystine. Yeah.
I'll turn you back up, Krystine. Nothing on your end. Sorry, just something over here.
No worries.
I tried cracking my back. We are resolved, y'all.
I love it.
Yeah.
Resolved.
Thanks for your patience. All right, putting you guys on mute. I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Welcome on in To The Point with Krystine, presented by Dance Network and AfterBuzz TV. I'm kind of excited because today on To The Point, we have To The Beat, back to school. We've got two of the cast members here, Laura, Krystine, and Gabe De Guzman. Welcome, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
I know. Now, I just like to let people know, for transparency's sake, we are pre-taping today because I'm in Las Vegas if you're watching this right now. However, the good news is that it is Tuesday, March 10th, and To The Beat Back to School comes out today.
Yes.
Right?
So excited.
All right, so where can people find it? Tell people right away.
Right now it's going to be available on all video on demand platforms. So it should be on Amazon, Vudu. It's on iTunes for purchase. Pretty much anywhere you can get on demand.
Okay, great. And then DVD.
Of course, DVD release.
Old school is still good sometimes if you want to own that copy and watch it whenever you want.
I love owning an actual copy of a movie. Like, I have so many movies.
What's
on
your
DVD.
favorite one?
My favorite movies are La La Land, Pulp Fiction, and High School Musical 2.
Oh, you have some good taste. We could be friends.
It's a very wide range of movies.
It's very wide range. And that's why
She
I
likes
like
a variety.
It's a whole variety pack right there.
Well, it's depending upon your mood. If you know you need a
course.
bop, you go to High School Musical 2.
Yeah, we
Some
can't all have the
nostalgia.
same emotion
No.
every day. Like we got to change it up and spice it up once in a while,
true.
you know?
I mean, if you're having kind of like an emotional day, you go to La La Land, right?
Of course.
And then if you just want to beat someone up, it's Pulp Fiction. Right? It's
Yeah,
good.
no,
it's
true.
kind of a badass movie.
Literally, whenever I need to cry too, I totally put on La La Land because that ending, it hits every single time. Every time.
Every time. And Mandy Moore, the choreographer, people, not the actress, is a genius with the choreography.
Yes. Oh my
amazing.
God.
Have either of you worked with Mandy Moore?
Yes, I actually got to work with her. She actually choreographed when I was on Club Mickey Mouse as a Musketeer for our Christmas Day parade. She choreographed that whole thing alongside Robert Roldan, and it was just such an amazing performance.
Both good friends to this show. They are incredible performers and choreographers. And I mean, to be able to work with her, even just.
It's such a fun environment with her. Like, usually you think, like, you walk into these rehearsals and you're like, all right, I gotta be in tip-top shape. But no, we were just laughing and just having fun the entire time. And I think that's really what brought that performance to life, was just like, we found the fun in it.
Yeah, she's great about that. And she gets performances out of people that are unbelievable. Yeah. But let's go and talk about To The Beat Back to School. You are back, of course.
Yes, I am back.
This is super exciting because I did cover the first one, and it's amazing to watch how everyone's just grown up.
It's crazy. I was taller than Jaden in the first one.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, she was really tiny in the first one, wasn't she?
We've all grown a lot. It's crazy to see, like, the development in everyone.
What was was it 2016 that you filmed it and it came out in 17? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we filmed 2016 and some in 2017 because we did December into January.
Okay.
So, and then it came out.
I remember doing
so
coverage.
cool.
You guys are all so little. It's just amazing to watch. And it's fun to see how this second movie has evolved and how even production value has evolved.
Yeah, our production value really went up in the second one. It's really cool.
When you guys came to the table, because you're an associate producer too, aren't you?
I am an associate
Go.
producer.
Titles.
Titles are good. And I think the younger you start doing it, and I mean, as a choreographer too, because you choreographed on this film, I think you get to really understand not only what's happening in front of the screen, but behind the camera.
Yes.
I mean, what does that mean to both of you?
You go ahead, ladies.
I
first.
love it.
You know, it makes me feel really good about myself, for one.
Empowered.
Yeah, it does, especially because we have so many really strong like females on our set. You know, we have a female director, female producers. There's female writers. It's really empowering to be a part of that. So that was really cool, especially for this to be my first associate producer credit on anything. That was just really cool.
It's on that IMDb list. It's good. No, but you learn a lot of things too. You learn kind of what I think sometimes when we're on the creative side of it, and when people are just like, okay, well, this is the decision we have to make. If you don't understand it as an actor, as a producer, sometimes you go, well, this is a business decision, or it's a financial decision, or it's structurally in the set we're limited by something. Being able to understand that, you go, oh, like your eyes get opened as to why decisions get made. And for you, obviously, you've been choreographing a long time, but so you've been wearing lots of hats. But what does it mean to you be able to do stuff on the other side of the camera?
It's great to see just kind of like a different perspective of it, because like growing up as just like only specifically a dancer in the industry, and getting to be in these rehearsals and be on these jobs and watch these choreographers, what they go through on a day-to-day basis. Now getting to be in those shoes is like, especially at our age, like such a great opportunity to get these type of both on-camera and off-camera roles. It's a great opportunity for us, but it's also a great learning experience as well. So.
And so many choreographers are moving into producing, creative directing.
Yes.
So it's a natural pathway, I always think.
Like it's just forming us as like true artists, like as we're growing as humans.
I also think it's a way to, and you can probably speak to this, Laura, controlling your career and having like a hand in what direction your career goes in, what path, because oftentimes if you wait around for your agent to give you that audition and everything, you're just waiting.
You're just waiting.
Yeah.
You have to take control and actually make the decisions yourself a lot of the time. If that's what you want to do, you know, you got to do it. You just got to work for it.
And the earlier you figure that out, the better, right?
Yes.
What did you love about this particular film? Like, what was the moments that really stood out to you in doing a sequel?
I really loved that we brought, you know, all of our original cast back. Everyone on the cast is a friend that I love and totally appreciate my friendship with. But we got to bring even more cast onto it. So it was just so much fun, like filming in like the actual environment itself with everyone that knew each other and had a relationship, you know. It makes the chemistry on set and actually acting just so much easier to like actually bring to life, because you are friends and you have chemistry.
Now, you and Gabe sort of circled around each other, hadn't officially met or worked together, but you knew a lot of the same people. So tell us how you got Gabe onto the project. Because this is a good story.
It's a great story.
And I want to say that, because also your mom is here, Laura, and she's a part of this story. But I get a lot of people on the show too via the same way you got Gabe onto the movie. So let's go and be honest about what social media platform helped you.
Well,
Lots of social media.
yeah, lots of social media. So me and Gabe, you know, we knew each other, but we didn't know each other.
In passing kind of thing.
It's always
Events,
like
friend groups. It was just like, hey, like
we're always all in the same circle at some point in time, but we're just never like officially met.
yeah. So you know, the producers, including my mom. My mother's a producer on the film. Really wanted Gabe in our movie. You know, seeing him on social media and seeing him at events and just around.
And watching his YouTube videos.
Yes.
How many times was she watching his YouTube videos?
You know, it was more just on Instagram, scrolling through and watching every single video because they were in a row. But it was really just, you know, seeing that he's so talented and wanting him to be a part of the project. And he plays such a great role as a dancer in the film. You know, personally, one of my favorite scenes to watch is his dancing scene with Jaden in the dance studio. It is filmed so well, and it's just performed so well, and I think it really added a lot of value to our film. So to get him on, yes, I had to DM him.
Slide into his DMs.
Even though I didn't know him, didn't follow him, just kind of casually would say
It turns
hi.
into other requests. You know that weird blue line you get, and you're like, who is DMing me? Now, do you check your other request section in DMs?
Like before then, I rarely did, so it was hard for me to like even see that message, because I didn't even like look at the time like into like the other requests and besides like people who I was following. So it was just like
So I DM'd
definitely a hard
him.
process.
We had a mutual friend who was able to, you know, put us in contact with him, thankfully.
Was not in the other request section of the DM.
No,
Was in the official.
that one was just
not even in the general box, in the priority box. So.
And then we had a open call at the House Dance Studio in Agora Hills, and Gabe was invited to come and perform for our producers, and yeah, that's
Right off the bat, you were like, he's in.
how he became a part of our cast. And I'm really happy he was a part of our cast. He really adds a good quality to the film.
You add a great dance element to the film, of course. And we were just talking about that scene with Jaden, and you did choreograph this.
Yes.
Talk about the process of choreographing, because I mean, you and Jaden together in this scene are absolutely spectacular.
So I don't even think you've heard this before, but that piece that we made that you'll be able to see in the movie, we choreographed that in about under an hour.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I actually had a callback that same day, but I had like time before because we literally had to film the scene like the next day. So I was like, hey, can we meet up at the studio? And then she was like, yeah, I'm down. And we literally hopped in the studio. I've known her for like so many years that are like, we already know like what's going on in each other's like heads, and we just like
that unwritten language.
The connection is just like so authentic. So it was like so easy to really just like put it out there. We both showed our like different specialties and stuff. So it's just like, it was such an easy process to make that choreography, but it's personally also one of my favorite scenes that we got to film.
And dance scenes, they're very particular when it comes to filming them. It's not just like, hey, let's just show a flat, stage right there in front of you. You want to get those angles. You want to make sure you're hitting those moments. So were you able to offer like, hey, we would like a close-up in on this moment or anything?
We had a roller. I forget what it's called, like the technical term. But
like just like a track.
Yeah, we had a track go like that. And then we had a handheld camera also getting certain angles on it. That scene, I just love watching how it was filmed because of it being rolled on the track. It just looks so cool, and the lights coming in from the dance studio, it looks great.
And I haven't even seen like the final product of that scene, so I'm excited to watch it.
Do you guys have a lot of behind the scenes sort of footage that you throw up on Instagram and stuff? Because that would be a good one to see.
I'm not sure if we actually got like...
We did a vlog that I think is going to be put on some either IGTV or a bonus feature somewhere. I know we have the content. I'm not a part of that, so I don't know where it's at right now.
Where and when.
But yeah,
but I definitely forgot we had that camera too. And I was like, oh my gosh,
it was kind of the joke was kind of like it was like a joke on set because like people would kind of lose it and then someone would just pick it up and film something. So I know that the content's probably like a mess because I know when I had that camera, all I did was kind of zoom in on people's faces.
But I think fans love behind the scenes, just seeing in that moment of just what was happening and what it looked like, and then hearing people's perspective.
I have a lot of funny videos of everyone messing around set. I did one day when we were at the dance studio. So on my phone case, I have a Peppa Pig sticker. So we took the Peppa out, and this is when that Peppa like meme was going on, so it was passed around to like everyone on set, and I have a video of like 10 different castmates just like, Peppa, what are you doing on the camera? Or like in so many different things, and it was just like a big joke throughout the set. So I have a lot.
It's like your set mascot, maybe.
Just a little bit.
It's like when people used to go around with Flat Stanley everywhere. You had Peppa Pig.
Yeah, I had Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig. I like it. No, I think it's really important to point out you have a female director, as you were talking about, Jillian Clare. She and her mom, Susan Bernhardt, wrote the film together too. In an era where we are talking about a lot of females behind the camera, I mean, what originally made you want to have a female director? Or is it just, because I know with the first film that they came aboard and kind of ran with the project.
We've had a personal relationship with Susan and Jillian for years. They've been there since pretty much almost the start of my career.
You did an episode of Misbehave, didn't you?
I did do an episode of Misbehave.
You must have been a baby.
I was. I'm teeny tiny. I'm like on the beach, like burying myself in sand or something. I honestly don't even remember too much. I think I did 2 episodes. But yeah, so I've known them forever. We know that they have experience in that area, so they were just a part of it, just from a connection that we've had for years.
That's great. And I love that. I was reading up that, Jillian is one of the few female directors that has directed the original film and a sequel. And I didn't even think about that in the industry.
Wow, yeah, no, I hadn't thought of that.
Because oftentimes I think you just think, okay, someone gets a project, and I'm sure somewhere along the way there's a ton of women who have done the first and second film. Well, actually, it's kind of a rare fact in the industry that a woman gets to direct the original and then the sequel too. So I thought we should throw that out there because I think
making history.
Making history, yeah. So there you go. What is it about like Jillian that makes the set so much fun? Because it looks like you guys just had a blast, not only on camera, but also behind the scenes.
Jillian, she likes to let us, be ourselves, obviously, so that the energy on set can be great and everything can be filmed well. But, she likes to keep things in order. One of the most difficult scenes probably to film was the spring fling scenes, which for the cast, you speak to them. It was probably the most fun scenes to film.
It really was.
The 80s.
But everyone was kind of everywhere, because it was like treated like a party, since that's what the scene is. And I know that Jillian really kept it together to try and keep us focused on the scene because we
Keep it tight.
Yeah. So she knows, when to let us, be free and take control of the scene ourselves, and also when she needs to step in and make us focus on it.
It was a very good mixture of we have to have fun, but we also have to stay focused and get this scene.
Yeah, and it's a fine line where all of a sudden you lose control and you're like, oh. But otherwise you still, if she can maintain that balance, it really does become a scene that you're like, oh, we'll always remember that.
Those scenes will probably be the ones that I remember the most because they were a lot of fun to film.
I love seeing all of the 80s sort of characters like the Material Girl Madonna showing up. If you guys could do it, go to an 80s dance in real life, what 80s sort of pop star, pop culture figure would you go as, do you think?
The Breakfast Club is also another one of my favorite films. It's one of my all-time favorites, so I would probably try to duplicate that kind of energy,
Would you
Obviously,
be like a Molly Ringwald?
I would love to be Molly Ringwald, but I don't have the hair for that.
A wig.
But I don't know. I feel like I'd kind of pull together that kind of energy. Probably Molly with her brown boots and her little pink top and her long skirt. In Victorious, they recreate that. They have a whole episode where they dedicate it to the Breakfast Club pretty much.
It's a good one. It's very iconic 80s. How about you, Gabe?
I would say the same thing, but just that rebellious type of
Is it Judd Nelson? Would you be Judd Nelson?
For sure.
Oh,
you could pull it off
good.
with your hair. You wouldn't be able to gel it down though.
Right.
Yeah.
And there is a very brief dance scene where they're all, remember?
Yes.
And I think the story goes that Molly Ringwald was supposed to do that scene by herself, and she was shy and was like, I don't dance. So they got everyone to get up and do it together.
That.
It's a good TikTok one if anyone wants to do it.
Oh,
just throwing
that'd
it
be a
out
fun
there.
challenge. The Breakfast Club trend.
That would be a good one. I'm just throwing it out there.
I'd
if
hop
anyone
on
wants
that.
it, steal it.
We're
okay?
gonna get right to work on that right after this.
Exactly. I'm like, I could do who's the basket case?
She shakes her
head. I'll do that. I love it. Now, both of you have sort of grown up in the industry, started working very young. What do you think? I think sometimes we hear oh, it's so terrible when kids start working young. Obviously, you're great examples of that's not true. What do you guys think you've learned in starting out working on set so young? And, sometimes you're asked to act like an adult in situations where you have to be professional.
I think the most important thing about starting in the arts kind of young is that we've really already kind of found our passion and what we really want to evolve into as we get older. So I think getting a taste of what it is already on set is going to already prepare us more for just this future career that we have ahead of us, because we're already so dedicated into it that it's there's no turning back. All I want to do is just grow and grow from here. So I think just starting as a kid is just really that amazing starting point, and just bringing it up to just your highest.
It also helps you learn, professionalism from such a young age, because you have to maintain being on set, as a child, and kids are loud and fidgety, and you got to learn how to be respectful of the director, how to be respectful of the producers and the other castmates. So I feel like you learn a sense of manners and how to communicate with adults at such a young age too. So that just totally helps your career as you grow older, because you have such good communication skills.
Have you guys ever had a moment where you're like, I'm not sure I want to do this? Because I think sometimes you just go through a phase where you're like, maybe I want to hang out with my friends, or does that happen?
When I was younger, I actually was bullied for just dancing because it was considered a girl sport. So it didn't let me stop me from what I wanted to do, because I was this is my passion and I'm not going to let anyone else tell me otherwise. And I'm so glad that I just decided that I was going to keep going this route, because I wouldn't be at the point that I am today in my career. So it's that.
Sometimes it makes you fight back, and not
that's what it
physically,
is.
but
if
mentally.
Something is bringing you down, that's just making you want to push even harder and go even more further into it.
I've definitely had moments of disappointment where it's gosh, what's going on right now, I feel stressed out with all these auditions and I'm not working right now. You know, I've had moments of disappointment, but I feel like they do, like you said, they push you further, you know, like, okay, well, I gotta get back into a lot of acting classes. I'm gonna study these movies and I'm gonna work hard on my own for the moment. If I am having trouble with my auditions, I gotta work on myself, and it pushes you. So it definitely just pushes you more.
Yeah.
It's a great perspective to have too. Did the whole boys dance too sort of this summer, that hashtag that, you know, and the movement, wasn't that wonderful?
So amazing. And I think the great thing about that was like, now that I was older and understood what those like people were like going through, like I could really give my perspective on it and just be like, it's okay, like just be you and just like really forget the haters.
It's still shocking to me, honestly, in an era where there's dance everywhere, whether it's in film, whether we see, you know, World of Dance is globally an epic TV show, that people still tease boys and girls for doing dance. I even know that I was sometimes a little bit bullied when I was in dance all the time because I wasn't doing the cheerleading or the soccer and things like that. People were like, oh, you have dance. So it is kind of interesting that in this day and age where I think dance is so cool, if you look at TikTok and what's happening on Instagram, that but I think it comes out of a place of jealousy, I think, for a lot of people too.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's just like the fact that we found our passion just so young, and just like they're still figuring out like what we want or what they want to do with their life. So it was both a curse but also a blessing.
Yeah. How did you guys balance school? Because I know a lot of people in LA are homeschooled. So
I've been homeschooled since first grade.
Whoa.
So yeah. So that's
and you're out of high school, but
Yeah, I was the complete opposite. I only did homeschool for my 8th and 11th grade, but the rest was I did private school when I was younger, and then I did public high school and wanted to finish out my senior year as like a regular high school student.
interesting. We've had a couple people say that they tried homeschool and it actually didn't work for them. They had trouble staying on track more on your own because you have to do that. You have
it takes a lot of focus because you have to sit there and you have to actually do the work yourself. You don't have like classmates like motivating you, or you don't have anything. You're just
There's not like someone else like teaching you directly what
you're just
like,
sitting there like on a computer like watching a video or like reading this long thing by yourself. You know, it takes a lot of focus, and I definitely, you know, it helps because you can move at your own pace. Even though, you know, you have your deadlines and you have your end date, you can work around it.
maybe get a little ahead if you have time. And
yeah, so like over a weekend, you know, if you know you have a really busy week, you can do extra schoolwork, or if you fall behind a little bit, you know, you can take time off and you can just do all of your schoolwork. It also really helps when you have friends that are in the same program as you. So like last semester, I had 2 friends and we're in the same program, so we're trying to finish our semester, get all of our finals done, so we'd go over to my friend's house and we just work and get all of our stuff done, and it kind of motivates you in that way, because it's like, oh, well, I already finished 3% of my work. Like, what have you done?
yeah, a competition. It's good.
I think for me, just like, I really want to just get that like authentic like high school experience, especially as like a senior, because you only get that once. So it's like something that I really want to experience, especially because growing up in the industry, I was like in school like less than half of the time. So it was just like, all right, I'm gonna really try to be present in this moment and just like enjoy it.
When you did have to work during your senior year or when you're in high school, was the school flexible with that?
Yeah, actually, it was just, I think pretty much all the teachers that I had, they understood my situation and they were very accepting about it, and they were just like, all right, as long as you get your work done, just like, yeah.
Okay, that's good. And I always like to ask the education thing because it is so unique to each person, and it's not a one-size-fits-all situation ever. And that's clearly, if you're like, I was homeschooled and then I went to school, and then
like knowing a lot of my friends in the industry, they usually take the homeschool route, but I think I'm like one of the very few that like was in public school for a majority of my life. So
yeah, we had JT Church here, and he said, he goes, I fell so far behind on homeschooling, and they enrolled him in a charter school, like it's a performing arts charter school, so they understand when he needs to be out, but he also gets the school experience at the same time. So
I love that kid. He's such a firecracker.
JT Church is amazing. He is
literally one of my favorite kid dancers.
I've covered him since season 13 when he was itty bitty tiny on So You Think You Can Dance, and then seeing him win Dancing with the Stars Juniors, and he's got another big year ahead of him. I don't think he's announced the news, so I'll let him do it, but he's got a lot of cool things up ahead. So super talented, which is incredible. What about college? You guys?
That's definitely something that's important to me. I dream school where I want to go fully is the UCLA acting program, acting and film. I would love to go and study it and be a part of their productions. You know, I've heard such great things about their productions. It's totally where I would love to go. I'm also interested in financing as of right now, so I'm still kind of, I want to be on the business side and I also want to be on my artistic side, so I'm kind of
You could probably do
juggling that
like
out.
a business minor, I think, if you did the
Yeah.
acting major kind of thing.
I'm definitely, that's a discussion that I have with my mother almost every day. You know, college is something that's important.
Well, I always say it's show business. They're like, we're always great at the show. Be great at the business too. You know,
Yes.
know how to balance your checkbook and everything else. Save your money.
Life skills.
Life skills. Now, you are obviously out of high school. Are you
Yes.
doing any college? Are you? It's on.
So doing public school most of my life. Now I'm currently doing some online college courses. so I can keep my, because now that I'm as an adult working in the industry is just such a different like schedule. Like they get more a hold of your hours, and it's just like very time consuming, especially because like you don't have a lot planned out in like your whole day pretty much. But I wanted to keep like my education flowing, so I'm doing some online college courses right now.
Great.
and,
I love that college can be sort of go with you. It's, you know, it's mobile.
Yes.
Back in the day, you had to be in a classroom and you had to be studying on campus, and now it's totally flexible.
especially for like these next 2 months for me. I'm gonna be traveling a little bit, so it's gonna be like kind of a challenge, but I'm up for it.
What are you doing, Gabe? Anything you
So,
can announce?
Yeah.
Since you said.
Yeah. Just next week I'm actually, well, technically it would be this week, but I would be heading to Australia. I'm gonna go out there and teach a couple of workshops, and then right after that I'm actually headed to London to film a Netflix project out there that I don't have much details that I can tell about, but
Right.
it'll be up and coming for sure.
Can you at least, is it maybe a musical dance type of Netflix project, or
It is.
it?
It's based around choreographers and dancers, so it's kind of a new reality show that they're gonna try.
Oh,
out.
I actually know what that is. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think we can announce more, but I
Yeah.
know, did they reach out to you via Instagram? Because I know the producers were looking for
No,
people.
it was actually through my agent.
Oh, even better. I love it. Because they reached out to a few people, and they were, so you're probably working with a couple other dancers and choreographers
Yes,
over there.
I know one other dancer from here. So I believe there's 50 UK dancers, and then there's 10 select dancers from the US. So I love this. Very blessed to be a
Wow.
part of that.
Netflix has a,
Congratulations.
I know, this is super exciting.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it really is. And Netflix has got a huge musical sort of dance strategy. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but they've got Kenny Ortega now, who has
Yes.
a major deal with them. And Ryan Murphy is doing a chorus line with Netflix, sort of based on the story, but it's going to be like I don't think it's a docuseries, but I think he's going to make it into sort of an anthology, kind of like what he does with, but based on a chorus line. And I don't know if it's going to be like the making of a chorus line and what went on behind the scenes, sort of what we saw with like Fosse Verdon, or if it's going to be like the story of a chorus line, but done in, say, 8 episodes or whatever. But there's a lot of cool things coming out of Netflix. So I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that you're a part of it, too.
I'm so excited to be a part of it. It's got to be definitely a new experience, especially getting to live somewhere else other than California. So
That's really cool.
Yeah. London is great. I spent some time at the airport, of course. I did a lot. No, London's fantastic, too.
I love it. It's my favorite city to visit. So
Oh, well, that's an exciting experience. Do you have projects that you're working on coming up right now?
I have a project coming that I'm going to be working on in summer. I can't really give
know. What can you
details
tease?
out yet. I don't think there's anything I can tease with it yet because it's not fully casted or fully, you know, it's not
Fully, yes, set in
it's
stone.
not fully out there for me to talk about yet. But I am excited. I'm really excited about it, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I am excited to talk
Are you
about
working
it
in front of the camera or behind the camera?
in front of camera.
Okay. Are you inspired to work behind the camera after
Definitely.
I
I definitely would love to be a part of producing and directing in the future. You know, I would love to be a director. That's something that I feel like I'd be really good at.
No, that's good. You can say that. I was like, own that.
Yeah, so that's definitely something that I look forward to in the future. But my main thing is I love performing. You know, that's why I love dance. That's why I love acting. I just love performing and entertaining people. So in front of the camera is more what I love to do, but being behind the camera is it's a great feeling too.
Yeah, having that education behind the camera, I think, it makes you a better actor.
Makes you a
too.
better
Yes.
performer knowing
Getting to
what they're
see
actually
both
doing
sides
back
and-
there. It's crazy when you see the whole process of what happens. It's crazy all the work that goes into it, you know? The funds, the crew, the casting, writing, just when you actually see how much the crew puts into it, it's totally changes your perspective on what you do in front of the camera.
Camera angles, why they chose a certain camera angle, or even sitting in auditions. When you watch other people audition, I think that helps you so much as a performer because you realize how, as humans, we like to sabotage our auditions. It's amazing that we're like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't bring my headshot. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm late. Like, you walk, I mean, if you've watched any audition, it happens over and over again. It's crazy. Or people give up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Usually when I go to an audition, I'm completely off book. That's something that I've always just, it makes me feel more secure. So I've, not taken a physical script. I learn it on my phone. I'm off book. I'm done. And then in the audition, I've been like,
what's next? What's my line? I've gone up.
They've gotten upset at me even for not bringing a physical copy. Sometimes they're like, it's always best to, even if you have it fully memorized. There's just little moments and little bumps that you can never predict if it's going to happen, no matter how ready you feel. You never know what's going to happen in there. And it's just...
I know those moments that we have, and you're like, in an audition room, and you're like, I just totally, made a mess of that. But although, has this ever happened to you? You've made a mess of an audition, and they hire you anyway?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I literally had a breakdown crying when I was little because I had to ride a scooter in the audition, and I didn't know how. I was in there with 5 other girls, and they all knew how, and I didn't know that I was going to have to do that in the audition. And I cried because I didn't know how, and they helped me do it, and I booked it.
Huh. It's like they see something in you. Have you ever had an audition where you're like, I just totally messed that up?
Kind of the same experience. And so here's how it went down. So
This is a good story. I know it.
So one of the biggest performances that I got to be a part of was the Super Bowl 49 halftime show with Katy Perry and Missy Elliott.
I think we have a photo of that with you and Casey Rice because you guys are itty bitty and super.
Babies.
Look at the babies.
Oh
my God.
Look at the babies. Oh, yeah, bring it in.
So
Oh my God.
yeah. So what happened with this was initially there was an audition for this performance, and we already knew what the performance was. Unfortunately, I got cut in about, I think, the second round of the audition, and I was just going home sad that day because, I really wanted to be a part of that performance, and it's just, one of my biggest dreams to be able to perform on, that stage. And then Miranda, hits me up about a week later, and she goes, hey, are you available, these dates? And I was like, yeah. And then me and my mom looked at each other, and we were like, hold on, these are the
Super
same
Bowl
dates that they asked me for this job. And then once I got to rehearsal, I was in the performance. So I was just so crazy.
All of the work
really
that
cool.
you've done, all those classes and the time you've put in with Trish Miranda, she knew that you were capable of doing it.
Yes.
So one bad day doesn't necessarily mean
Yeah.
that you were eliminated from the Super Bowl.
For sure.
Did you comprehend that you were at the Super Bowl when you were so little?
Oh, I knew I was there, but I was just like, am I dreaming right now? Or is just what's about to happen? And it was one of the most, honestly, for me, nerve-wracking performances. Because as soon as we walked into that stadium, we were like, oh my gosh,
is
here we
huge.
go.
It's an international audience, and it's one of the more memorable ones too. I always think you always remember Prince, you remember Bruno Mars, Beyonce, Left Shark with Katy Perry and Missy Elliott.
She rides in
Still
on the
going
giant
on today.
Yeah, everyone remembers that.
I remember
though.
being so hyped up for the Katy Perry performance. I was, I don't even remember how old. Maybe 13.
2015. So.
Okay, then I was
5 years ago.
about 13.
Wow.
Yeah, and I loved Katy Perry at that time. I had posters all over my wall of her. I don't even have posters of people I like now on my wall. I have movie posters. But I loved her, and I remember being so hyped up for that. And that's a performance that I definitely remember. So, look it, I'm friends with one of the dancers now.
Super Bowl. I know. I'm always so impressed. I'm watching J-Lo and Shakira this year.
Oh, God.
I'm sure you also knew a lot of people involved in that.
Yeah.
It's so much fun for me to watch. I don't really watch the football game, and then the halftime comes on.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's Tiffany, and there's Rudy, and but that is so exciting to be happy for other people's success. And I think that's one of the most incredible things.
We had a J-Lo party on the Super Bowl at my house. I had a few
As
friends
you
over.
should.
Literally, I saw her stories.
Yeah,
It was just
no,
J-Lo
we
printed.
put footballs on the wall, and then we covered it with J-Lo.
J-Lo Sunday.
Yeah.
And I think literally, especially with this industry, the diversity that's being shown and just showcased on TV is just so amazing. So like to see like all that like Hispanic like culture represented on that halftime performance was really a beautiful thing to watch.
2 Latinx women too. I mean, that's a really big deal.
Yeah,
We haven't
really
seen that
great.
before. Gabe, I wonder if you get this question a lot. So you think you can dance? World of Dance. We ever going to see you on those shows?
I wonder the same thing.
All right, I'm glad I'm here to.
So does my mother
Ryan,
that was obsessed with your dances.
Me. It does seem like a natural fit, but it doesn't always. It's not always a natural fit for your career path, depending on where you are.
Actually, I was actually competing on World of Dance Season 1 with Boys of Temecula. So that was, personally for me, reality shows are just like kind of a hard thing for me to like go through. But I'm definitely in the future, I would love to go for So You Think. They've asked me to audition, and I think the year that they asked me to audition was the year of my senior year, and I was just like, I kind of want to finish
Have your
off
senior
this
year.
route. So I was just like, I'll give it a little bit of a wait, but we're definitely gonna get into it, I think.
Okay, good to know. We'll keep our eyes on that. I'm backstage, So You Think, every episode, so
Let
I'll
me
look
know.
for your face.
Hit me up.
Yeah. No, but I do think, and I always ask that of dancers that I know are sort of in that, like, especially that 18-year-old age, when everyone turns 18, you're like, are you going to do So You Think You Can Dance? It's a natural question, but it's not always the right career path, because if you're already working, having to take off X amount of months to do So You Think, you get the tour after and you get the money there, but you're still blocking off time in your career.
Yeah.
And it's a tough thing. And I know season 1 of World of Dance was a roller coaster ride for all of you guys, you know.
So wild.
Yeah, if anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch all of my early interviews from that season. We had Ian Eastwood in here, definitely sort of talking about that situation, because they were kind of figuring out like, what is World of Dance and how do we make this new dance competition show?
It's always so hard just like starting out with those new types of shows and like figuring out what we're just like what was good about the way that we produce it, and then what were also some things that like they could fix for like the next season if they.
And they've done a much better job in season 2 and 3, and I know they're making format changes in season 4 to make the qualifiers a little bit shorter instead of like 10 weeks. They're doing kind of a battle round before you even get to the main stage. So I like that they're very open to making it, you know, a well-oiled machine.
Bit more condensed.
Yeah, but I think everyone gets a lot of maximum exposure out of World of Dance. I feel like everyone that I've had on the show, their career goes, even if they don't make it past the duels.
Yeah, for sure.
There's definitely an interesting recognition factor with doing World of Dance.
For
So.
sure.
All right, but I got my eyes on you for So You Think, all right? I'm guessing that's going to be season 18 since you're working right now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because the LA auditions are April 4th and
Have they
5th.
started the season? Or? Yeah, they have.
Yeah, so the auditions are in Miami and New York at the end of March, and then LA for April 4th and 5th. So you're going to be busy.
so
You're working.
We'll wait next.
Season 18 it is, babe. What I would love to hear from you guys, what are your dream projects? Where do you kind of, I know this is like such a big question to ask because you guys are so young, but in 5 years, what do you hope to have accomplished?
Gosh, it's a lot. I mean, my main goal, I would love to be a movie actress. You know, I would love to go more into doing drama type roles. Obviously, doing comedy and family friendly it's so much fun. But as an actor, I want to further myself drama wise. I love doing drama. It's something that I have to work hard in because it's not the natural kind of energy that comes to me when it comes to acting. But that's definitely something I want to do. I want to do more films. There's so many actors that I would love to work with.
Who's your dream? Like, if there's one actor or actress you can work with.
I mean, it's cheesy. It's basic. I would love to work with Leonardo DiCaprio because he's Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
You know, but there's so many other ones. Comedy-wise, I would love to work with Adam Sandler. I've loved him since I was like
Netflix. He's got a great
child.
Netflix deal.
I know he's got a great Netflix deal, so that would be an amazing thing to do. I mean, I could sit here and list so many actors that I would love to work with. But, you know, being more well-known for film projects, especially in the drama side, is something that I would love to continue working on.
I love that. How about for you, Gabe?
I think just like as I'm continuing to build my name as a choreographer, one of my biggest dreams is I've always had a thing for like live performances, so I would definitely love to either be a dancer or even be a choreographer and creative on a world tour for some major artists.
Okay, now you know what I'm going to ask. Who's that artist? Who's that one artist you're like, I really think I have a vision for them?
That's so tough to think because I'm honestly like so open and so inspired by so many different artists. Like
You were just working with BTS.
Yes, they would definitely be such a fun group to set some creative stuff on. But even with like Bieber's comeback and just like
Changes.
also love,
Did you guys see Tassandra and Philip Shabib?
I'm so excited to see these new videos released every week.
They are to die for. They're stunning.
Yes,
They're stunning.
It's like to have both Shabib and Tassandra's videos to be the first two to be released. That's a force to be reckoned with.
I know.
First off,
We have another 14 to come.
Yes.
14 more videos.
And
It's
just like
oh my
watching
God.
that trailer, I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm not prepared for what's to come.
I know. I can't believe that they filmed 16 videos in the month of January. Nick DeMora directed all
Props
of them.
to Nick.
Nick,
first
I know.
off, like,
This is for Nick.
yeah.
Because but I watched the Philip Shabib Mackenzie Dustman one probably 4 times yesterday when it came out.
So it's such artistry that we got to witness.
It's so good. And I want to know, in our final question, what do you hope the fans get from To the Beat Back to School? What do you hope that they get out of it?
I hope that they get a lot of joy out of it. I hope they get to see all of their favorite stars in it. You know, we have a really wide range of our actors. It's so great. We have people from Nickelodeon, Disney, to social media, great dancers, singers, actors. We have so many different peoples from so many different sides of the youth and industry. So I really hope that they get to see all of their favorites. I really hope that they just are so happy with it. I hope that they're inspired by the dance and the choreography. It's great. I just hope it like makes them happy and they like it.
We need more good things in the world, don't we?
Yes.
How about you, Gabe?
I think especially with this being a sequel, that they get to see like the different growths of the characters from the first film, but also get to know the new cast from the second. So,
Like you.
Yep, I'm excited for them.
Logan.
Excited for them to see just those like relationships evolve and just like the different artistry that's presented throughout the film, and just like get inspired to follow their passion and just continue to work harder toward their dreams.
Yeah, we have a lot of different actors that just bring a lot to the film. So it is inspiring. It's so cool to see everyone and how they have grown. Acting wise, you know, and it's insane to see the development through everybody.
Yeah, it's fun even just to look at photo stills from the first movie to the second
it's crazy.
movie.
Grow
It is-
physically, mentally, emotionally.
Yeah, and be really proud of what you accomplished, because being able to sort of grow and show that on screen is a really big accomplishment you guys should be really proud of.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We want to remind everyone it is available today. Of course, all video on demand platforms. Don't forget DVD. If anyone's not following you guys on social media, you can look into that camera, let them know where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Laura_Krystine.
You can find me on all social media at Gabe De Official, and on YouTube, Gabe De Guzman.
And soon to be Netflix. Yeah. All right. We want to thank Dance Network and AfterBuzz for presenting us today. Of course, for all of your dance news, check out dancenetwork.tv. We'll be back next week with a live show. Hope you all have a great week. See you soon.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.